Hello, hello, everyone.
Okay.
Oh, there's an itty.
There's a wild itty. Oh, she's just okay. I just got home and we're gonna. Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Here's Itty. She can't wait her turn. She can't wait her turn. Nope.
Hi, itty.
Nope. Must talk to mommy now. Must see mommy now. So here we go. Okay. I hope everyone is doing wonderful this week. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us on Two Geek Girls. And I want to say welcome back to Lyssa.
Yeah, that was a 10-hour drive home.
I'm so sorry about that. But was it awesome?
Oh, it was. Though we did hit a snag. So our HR director, Haley, has a rare heart condition, and it decided to flare up on Saturday night.
Oh, no.
She's fine. She had a doctor's appointment today. But that kind of threw us for a loop. And so Sunday I ended up running not one, but 2 games. So I had started off with 3 games. Sean ended up having health issues, so he had to drop. So I ended up picking up one of his games. And then Saturday that happened. So I ended up running 5 games after I had never ran any games prior to Gen Con.
Just gonna throw you into the deep end here. This is what you get.
Fire!
Yeah, this is what you get for being healthy, Lyssa. Yeah.
That's debatable.
That's debatable. Also debatable, but at least healthy for the weekend.
Yeah, it's true.
See. Well, other than that eventful turn, I'm assuming it was a great success.
Oh yeah, we Rupture and Olympia, we were the 2 that like everyone came out and were just like talking about, and like everyone who came out of our rooms just had an absolute blast. We, there's a couple exceptions to the rule, but that wasn't because of anything we did. That was because players getting into an altercation, so they left to cool off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like everyone who played our game had an absolute blast.
Yay.
And my games were just full of the memes. We had a Stoneborn Barbarian that, so for reference, average intelligence in Rupture is a 3 score. The Stoneborn Barbarian had a 1, the minimum intelligence to be sentient.
Right.
And I ended
up, I know
up
people like that,
accidentally giving them a chipmunk that was much smarter than them. And by accidentally, I mean it kind of just happened. And I rolled to see how smart this chipmunk was, and I rolled a 4 on a D4. So
yeah.
We had Tree Cronkborn, the Stoneborn Barbarian, and his chipmunk companion.
Okay, there she goes. Whew, wild itty. Well, welcome back nonetheless, and I'm glad it was a big success, and I'm glad that they had you there, because sounds like they needed you. Sounds like you were a wonderful asset. And congratulations. The first of many, I'm sure.
I am sure. I know we're planning to go back next year, along with Rupture will be at Dragon Con, as well as what was the other one they mentioned? Crap, I can't think of the other con, but we're going to be at 3 next year. Oh, Origins. Okay. We're going to be at Origins.
There you go. Yay. I am okay. Actually, this is a good one to start on with, because it's one I could kind of like. What was it Barbara Streisand used to do? The Prince of Tides was neither about princes nor tides. Discuss. So Disney has altered Jessica Rabbit's appearance for various reasons, and in various places, including a ride in Disney and a different appearance for any commercialized appearance that she makes.
Okay.
And it's got people discussing. It's got people talking about it to make her, I think their official statement was more relevant to today's culture.
I just Google. I want to see what she looks like.
Yeah. This was right on the heels of I had watched something describing how rides in Disney had changed and things, like when they opened up Disneyland California Adventure and they opened up the movie studio area, like a lot of the rides have changed, that some were only open less than a year, were disasters, and it's all of these things. So on the heels of this, various things that Disney has had to do, they're not necessarily editing older content. The scene from Dumbo is still in there. The scene in Aristocats is still in there. Things are still in there. They just come with a bit of a disclaimer in the beginning. Fair, awesome, fair, good. But like Lilo and Stitch, they changed a scene. If it's airing on Disney, if it's airing on ABC or Disney, there's a little part of a scene that's been taken out, and it's been redrawn for Disney Plus, and it just gets me thinking, all the little changes that they've had to do over the years, and even cartoons that are like, I mean, how old is Lilo and Stitch now? Almost 20 years old? I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that.
2002, so yeah.
Yeah, 20 years old. Yeah, there was a scene where Lilo climbed into a dryer, so they can't have that scene in there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to change it to like a cabinet with a pizza box on the front, something that wouldn't be in people's houses. Little things like this. So It doesn't surprise me, but it looks like they've altered, like, Jessica Rabbit for I'm trying to remember if Roger Rabbit's Wild Ride. It's one of the Wild Ride things. It's not Mr. Toad's, but it's like that. It's one of those rides was still in there. So I guess they altered her appearance, and then they altered her drawing, and I don't know. It's Jessica Rabbit. It's like altering Betty Boop. You just don't do it.
Yeah, no, like
you just don't do it.
She's literally supposed to be like the stereotypical bombshell that isn't the stereotypical bombshell.
It's supposed to be highly exaggerated, absolutely written for one purpose, and that's kind of the irony of her being with Roger. Like, this is the point, you know.
Yeah.
So
well. And I also feel like this is one of those situations, like, to a degree. Like, don't get me wrong, I get why they did it, because she is rather busty.
Yeah.
And, people are a little bit puritanical, but at the same time, there was nothing inherently wrong with her being busty.
It was meant to be exaggerated. It wasn't meant to be a Barbie. It wasn't meant to be a Barbie doll that you sell to little girls for aspirational purposes.
Yeah.
She
was in there for the adults.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. Hi, Michael. How you doing? Hi. So who we got? We got Olive, Steven, Donnie, Jim, Michael. Woo. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. So yeah, that came across. Somebody shared one of the articles on my Facebook feed. That came across, and I was like, huh, okay. Oh, I was actually going to ask if you could check real quick the actor who plays Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter. Yep, he has apparently collapsed during a charity event. A golf charity event.
Oh,
and we don't have any updates on his health condition yet. Yep. But if you could check on that.
Let's see.
Yep, collapse. Tom Felton, thank you. During a charity golf tournament.
Yeah, Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
No word on current condition.
Okay. Claude, hi. And we will try to stay in touch with that, of course. Lots of news stories, lots of post Emmys, lots of fishing through stuff, but that one came across, so I'm trying to keep updates on that one. Certainly hoping he's okay. Hopefully it's just something like dehydration or who knows.
Most likely.
That is my absolute hope. I don't want to think it's anything worse.
Probably. Most likely, he is in the UK, so he likely, went out to the pub the night before and just didn't drink enough before doing a charity event.
Well, it's golf, The liquor rules do not apply during golf. It's perfectly normal to crack open a cold one at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's just what we do. Let's see. Yes, we saw the Orville. That's right. Orville has released its teaser trailer. Season 4, Orville, New Horizons. Season 3. Season 3. I was thinking something else. Season 4. Released their teaser trailer. And I don't know, you guys excited? Does this look like fun? Wanted to keep going. Hopefully this isn't the final season.
I hope it's not. They've been doing really good with that one.
It's fun. This is really easy to watch. And it's meant to be. It's meant to be something you could just sit back and enjoy. Of course, lost Norm Macdonald, who was the voice of, am I saying it right? Fett? I got that right? On the Orville? Y'all know. Somebody comment on that because So, yeah, lost Norm. Yep. So, yeah, Norm Macdonald. And then, God, a couple of big surprises this week. People we didn't even know were sick at all. That's not fun. So, yes, excited for the Orville. Have not seen Star Wars Visions. Nope.
Wait, did we lose Norm? Oh, that's right. We did, didn't we?
We lost Norm Macdonald, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I know. That was pretty much my response. Like, what? No, I wasn't done with him yet. Yeah. It was a shock. That was a shock to anyone because it was a very quiet battle. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was 61. 9-year private battle with cancer.
God. Ugh.
That's a long time to be battling cancer.
And really not have anybody know.
Yeah.
Your TikToks. Who is the lady thief in the TikToks? Lyssa.
Semyaza? The blue one? Say it by color. I've got a couple different ones that are...
That is not the first Dr. Dolittle movie. I know you did not just say that, Donnie. That is not the first Dr. Dolittle movie.
The first Dr. Dolittle movie was from 1950s?
God. Was it? How old? It was Rex Harrison. How old was he then? Oh, God. It was a very, very long movie. It was an epically long movie. It wouldn't, and no.
67, I'm seeing.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like there was one even before that, though.
Oh, like a black and white one?
Yeah.
That's the first one I knew of, was that. But the book had been around for quite some time, so it wouldn't surprise me if something else had been made. But that's, it's like telling people that if they could name the first person who ever played Hamlet.
Yeah.
It would actually be. So, I know who it is.
So far, the only one I'm seeing is the 67.
Yeah, 98 remake. There you go. Yes, that's correct. Was it 54? Oh my God, it was 54. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yes, Johnny, that's correct. That was 98 was the remake. Yep. Yaphet. That was it. Thank you. Could not remember the name. Yaphet. Thank you, Jim. That was it. Yeah, So I will admit this, because everyone's mentioning Venom, and I completely understand why. So Let There Be Carnage. It's everywhere. The marketing is brilliant with it. And I will freely admit that the trailers for the second movie make me want to go back and finish the first one. Just to do that. And part of it is because I never had a problem with like the casting or performances. It was just a very weak story. Just Venom, whatever wasn't really catching me.
Yeah.
But I understand the following that it got. I understand the love for the performances that were in it. I even understood to a point, especially when you're talking about the digital age, like everything being released digitally and everybody being at home, why they made the sequel. So I'm with you guys. Like I am excited for this. Yeah. That is another one. Dear Evan Hansen. Yeah, that is everywhere.
I've heard people saying it's that Dear Evan Hansen is laughable.
It's entirely possible. I just know it's everywhere. I know nothing about it yet. I just know that it's everywhere.
Yeah, I've heard people were like, okay, like, no, yes, we're not unused to adults playing a teenager. This is what it is, but why is Evan Hansen like 32?
Yeah, not quite getting away with what we used to be able to get away with.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So here's how this reminded me of that. So the woman, and I will remember her name again when it doesn't matter, who was clearly too old to be on Beverly Hills 90210, curly hair, glasses, had to fight to either be allowed to wear her Star of David or nobody was allowed to wear religious paraphernalia on the show. True story. They told her no, that she had to take off her Star of David because it was affecting their ratings in the Midwest, which is not really a thing, but okay. So she's like, well, if I'm not allowed to wear my Star of David, nobody's allowed to wear a cross. Like, then nobody can wear anything. That's not fair. And she won that one. She did. So she has been the president of the Screen Actors Guild for quite some time. Controversially so. I'm really not a fan of hers as the president of the Screen Actors Guild. But anyway, that the reason that reminded me of is people being a little bit too old to play certain parts. And she was not that she did a bad job. Didn't mind her in the cast, but clearly not a teenager anymore. So she's been president of the Screen Actors Guild, and a lot of her rulings and a lot of her. No. Beverly Hills, not the nanny. Beverly Hills 90210.
No. As of September 2nd, Fran Drescher.
Oh yeah. You are correct. She is the new president. So the one before her is the woman from
Gabrielle.
Yes.
Carteris.
Yep. Gabrielle Carteris. Yes.
Gabrielle.
Yep. That is the previous. You are right. The election's done. She's out. You're right. So she was the president of the Screen Actors Guild for quite some time, actually. Gabrielle was. And I firmly believe she was far more on the side of producers than she was on the side of actors. And it some controversial decisions and things that she allowed to get voted for and passed. And so what does that bring me to today? So a lot of issues for stunt performers, extras, under fives, like people who really didn't have any power in the industry, were completely dependent on the Screen Actors Guild to make, help enforce rules and work conditions and everything else for them. She wasn't there. She allowed producers to vote and force the vote or force the sway of the vote. There was a time when union members of the Screen Actors Guild could perform in theater performances, because this is when you had like a convergence between the unions for stage performances, and that's what she had. But you were still, anyway, union rules. You were allowed to be in a self-produced union theatrical performance. So if you wanted to do a review, if you wanted to do a scene from a play, if you just, something to showcase, you could do it in a small theater, less than 100 seats. She allowed the union rule to end that ability, so that you could only be in theaters. If you were union, you could only perform in theaters like over 500 seats. What does that do? Yeah. What does that do? That means that only a wealthy producer could afford to rent out a theater that size. Those aren't the theaters you can just rent out for a weekend. And when you get up to those level of seats, you're talking about stuff you got to book months in advance, and it's a huge financial burden. So now all of these actors no longer had this other way that they could perform and hold their own showcases and invite people and work with their friends, and That was really shitty. That was really shitty, and it had everything to do with the producers not, wanting to control what actors couldn't do without them. Yep. Bottom line. So why do I bring this up? Because now, and I'm going to get the letters out. IASTE.
IATSE.
IATSE. Thank you. That was. I was trying to remember.
Yeah, they are potentially going to strike, and this is all about because now it is contract renewal time. And I don't know the exact details because like what I'm hearing is all through the grapevine through my boyfriend and others. But as is common during contract renewal time, film companies are fighting back.
They do, and it is absolutely hitting this point where there is no argument for what is being asked for by union members right now. Because every year it's been getting worse. So why am I bringing up Scott? Because Screen Actors Guild every year was making conditions worse. Every time it was getting worse for people who had no power. Yep. Like what was demanded of them, the safety protocols got thrown out the window. Why are we having stunt performers die right and left? Why are we having people refusing to be extras because they don't have to pay them that amount of money anymore? Even if you're a union extra or a non-union extra, like there should just be living conditions that are required. And I don't agree with having drastic work conditions be so different between union and non-union when you're talking about extras, because I don't really see an argument for that. If they're union, okay, they can go maybe they're at the front, they've been doing it longer, that's fine, but it doesn't mean like no food and sitting out in the sun and having to be there for 16 hours and no communication and no water. Like this is stupid and dangerous. So IATSE, which has to do with, crew and people that are pressed with even worse hours, worse working conditions, are not being guaranteed any time to safely drive from one place to another, to shower, to eat, to sleep. They're with the threat of losing their job, which means you lose this job, you lose the next one, and you lose the next one. This is an industry where these positions are completely dependent on you completing one job and completing the next, because that's what leads into the next one. So with this looming threat, so many people entering it, people who don't know better, thinking these are normal working conditions, they're not. And it's dangerous. You've got people who have been injured. You've got, if you remember election, you remember what happened during election, Reese Witherspoon's election with Matthew Broderick? So crew member of IATSE, apparently it was kind of a whole shit show. The whole production was kind of a shit show and scrambled together, and a lack of organization, and people like, we need to go, and I need you to be here, and I need you to have this here, and she needs this and she needs that, and this environment of eventually people on no sleep, barely any food, pressed 17 hours a day. A person was driving, people testifying afterwards, like they were being screamed at, they were being yelled at, like, you need to get back here in an hour, you need to do this, you need to have this, you need to have this here. But not just like, okay, we need this shot done in an hour, but like, you piece of shit, you need to get back here in an hour, like abusively screamed at, was driving and trying to get back to set on time so that they didn't get fired, and hit somebody and killed them on the way back to the set. And that became a whole thing. Like, you can't create conditions like this.
Nope.
So, yeah, there's a very real. Our productions are because we have such limited crew. We're not working through IATSE when we're doing it, but we do have crew members who are members of IATSE. Yep. That's just not our go through until we get to a bigger production, until we get to the productions where we need a certain number of them to do that. But our crew members are IATSE. They're all of that. And it's hell. It's absolute hell for these guys. But your boyfriend, he'd know.
Yep. As of today, he changed his picture to the I stand with IATSE.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Meaning he is in favor of the strike, apparently.
And it's like, nobody wants to see a strike. Nobody wants to
No,
strike.
no one wants to strike because that
And
means
this is
that
when
they are losing money too.
yeah, no, nobody wants to, but at a certain point you have to draw your line in the sand because from my experience, it's a combination of allowing this environment to be called acceptable while you have new people coming in. So their standards are even lower than the generation before, if that makes
Thank
sense.
you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. And you can't allow it. This is not a bunch of princesses or divas asking for anything crazy. They're literally asking for completely normal, sane, healthy working conditions. And no, it's like, no.
Well, like the past couple of weeks, Josh had been on 12s, 7 days a week.
Ugh. That's illegal. Isn't that illegal?
No.
Like literally labor laws, isn't that illegal?
No, so long as you're getting 6 day is like pay and a half and 7 day is double pay.
Okay.
So you're still technically getting compensated properly and everything. Like it's like think of it like overtime hours.
Okay.
But like, you know, so long as they technically had a proper amount of turnaround for everyone.
Yeah, and that's where things get dicey because
not all productions are giving people proper turnaround.
Well, and everybody's turnaround's a bit different too.
Yeah.
They're not going back to their trailer. Like they're going home.
Yep.
Like they have to and you have to try, God forbid you're in LA and you're working within the 30-mile zone. Good luck.
Yep.
And nobody's getting 8 hours of sleep and nobody's getting no.
Also, hello, Arturo. Welcome in.
Hello. Late evening.
Yeah, anything over 40 hours.
Yep. Let's see. Today, yeah, anything. I mean, what we were doing when we were, well, okay, workshops were a little bit different, but if you were working, even if you yourself were not part of the union yet, if you were not part of equity yet, when we were doing, and workshops are kind of like the Wild West, and they're exactly what they sound like. There's a proposed musical or play that a producer wants to get off the ground, so they organize a cast and a basic crew, and they start workshopping through how to present it to investors. So that eventually there will be a workshop performance, a private performance for investors of what you guys are doing. That's how it's supposed to go. Mm-hmm. In union rules are 10 of 12. So you're scheduled for 12 hours and the breaks come to taking 2 hours of time out of that. So 10 of 12. And it is very, very strict. You are out that door. Even if they're not, they will literally pick you up and throw you out of the door. Nope, 12 hours, get out. Because it doesn't happen. It doesn't now. Again, workshops are a bit of the Wild West in that you are given, give or take, $200 a week to work up to 7 days a week, 10 of 12. With the hope that maybe you're good enough to get the show off the ground and that you get to be in the show and have steady pay. All right. Yeah. That was, again, the 10 of 12, and you're getting like 10-minute breaks throughout. However, that adds up to taking 2 hours of time off. So,
yeah.
Again, very strict rules. And that's, New York City. And I promise you, everybody else had a job that they gave up. So at this point in our lives, we were basically like 6 or 7 to an apartment. So that if you were only making $200 a week, it was okay. You could still have a bed, maybe, sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
But in New York City, you can sleep 7 to an apartment, just like you can in LA. However, you don't need a car. And you can have a subway pass for the month. That saves you a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they will provide some food during the day, so you actually do have food that you're eating there. It's obviously still very tight, and for the most part, everybody had like $20,000 to $30,000 in credit card debt, give or take, because they also expected you, as one does, because you also had to have perfect hair, perfect makeup, perfect gym body, and the latest and greatest of Capezio wardrobe on while you're, yeah.
Arturo, don't instigate anything in the chat.
Yeah, we don't talk. No, go there. Nope.
No, we're not going there.
Nope. Anyway, you have this strange combination of stuff that is very, very strict and stuff that obviously is meant to, more than anybody, benefit the employers.
And he's blocked.
Hey, you tried. You tried.
Well, I know there's a little bit of a delay, but like he's purposefully instigating shit in chat.
Yes.
Anyway.
Nope. No drama. It's no drama Thursday.
Yeah.
And that's that. So there you go. That's what's happening with that. Waiting with bated breath. Got that. We've got Disney coming out with a public statement about how they're going to redo contracts given the lawsuit with Scarlett Johansson. We've got, yeah. I am unsure as to the language that they used, whether who it's supposed to benefit when they do it. I mean, yeah. With new media, I was part of that group that years ago benefited from new media allowing me to join Screen Actors Guild in less time.
Yeah.
Than if I had done it through, I guess what we would have called like the old media.
The traditional.
Yeah. I came from New York into Los Angeles and San Diego with, honestly, I came in with more than 3 credits, but I was having a horrible time finding all the paperwork and tracking down the production companies. So I did several more, and then I found, and it was just becoming a pain in the butt. Because media was already changing and production, and so it was a lot. What was happening more often was a show was changing hands a lot quicker, and in that process, there's a lot of records and paperwork that gets left behind.
Oh yeah. We are not sponsored by M&Ms. I am, however, sponsored by Juju Energy.
Yes. Did that help you this past week?
Oh, hell yes.
Still Lyssa's favorite, 100%. Anyway, with new media, this is what people are putting out, because this is how the unions were trying to figure out what to do with YouTube, what to do with Netflix, what to do with all the streaming services that were coming up, and how to categorize that. And it kind of became this compromise. It's going to be easier for actors to get credits for it, but it's also going to be easier for producers to do it on the cheap. The rules are going to be a lot more lax, top to bottom. Not just for qualifications, but it's top to bottom. So it didn't take, so you could get cast in a bigger role without being union yet, and get your union qualifications sooner, because parts up until that point, background, and background's only worth a little bit, and until you have a line, blah blah blah, it gets really tricky.
Yeah.
It's yeah. And for the record, it's been must join for years. That's okay. That's neither here nor there. When all that was happening, the first thing we're hearing from people getting picked up for big shows, like, Daredevil, getting picked up for it, but it's going straight to Netflix. So it's Netflix Daredevil, going right there. The working conditions were not as regulated. The pay, the royalty, like clearly the streaming service is making so much money off of this, but the actors were gesundheit.
Danke.
Really not getting the paychecks, the royalties to reflect, considering the hours and months that they were putting into.
Oh yeah.
And Yeah, it just, again, completely beneficial first and foremost to the employers and then to the streaming service.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Good. Zone type. That's correct. Hi, Matthew.
But so, yeah, it's
the brave new world.
Yeah, I was gonna say contract law is complicated, and laws generally do not keep up with new technology. It'd be great if they did, but like, what was it, like just this past year? The Senate was just getting to Facebook, and Facebook has been like popular as a social network for a decade.
Yeah. There are people who begin to analyze, like their entire job is to begin to analyze risk when something new comes up, but this does not get utilized.
Yeah.
At all until something happens that puts pressure on politicians, that puts pressure on, corporations. And that's not even like a either here nor there. It has nothing to do with politics per se. That just has to do with laziness.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like, it is feasible to go back and go over this and make sure that these kind of things are properly dealt with before shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
However, and I'm aware a lot of our demographic falls somewhere close to this, but like older white men that are in office that don't understand technology specifically.
Yeah, watching, having to explain Facebook to some of them was a bit painful. It's a bit painful.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah.
And
that's one of them. That's one of them.
Don't get me wrong, like things like Facebook do need to be regulated. Like, as you were saying, it is a brave new world when it comes to technology and contract law and everything surrounding this technology. But it can be done.
Yeah.
If you've got people in office that understand what the hell's going on. And the thing is, we have had a propensity across the board. This has nothing to do with right or left. This is just, we have a propensity for voting in older white men who don't understand.
It's so easy to sit back and just continue doing things the way that they have been done, and waiting for something to go wrong to get I mean, you have watchdog groups, you have civilians who are organizing, putting stopgaps and checking misinformation.
Yep.
For Facebook on their own and alerting people to what is happening, because Facebook isn't doing it.
Exactly. It's one of those things, like, you have to be socially responsible. And a lot of these companies are not doing the socially responsible thing for their platform.
Well, yeah. I mean, you want all the rights of a private company, you have to assume the responsibilities of that as well.
Yeah. And that's going on TikTok too. I'm just saying.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They're an international company.
Yes.
So the ramifications are a little bit different there.
Very different.
Given everything.
Unfortunately, it's like everything takes a disaster to improve. People don't improve their product until sales drop. People don't start acting responsibility until the problem is actually in their own backyard. Airplanes don't have regulations until the roof flies off of one at 24,000 feet.
Yep.
So it took a lawsuit. In this case, it's Scarlett Johansson, highly publicized, and the public really being behind her especially given all the effort that was made beforehand. She didn't just jump into a lawsuit. She tried everything else first.
She tried to do the right thing and work with them. It's like, yep. Hey, you know, the situation has changed, which it happens. But I tried to do the correct thing and work with you on this. You refused and didn't do what was right for me.
And then their response to it, this immediate trying to do a smear campaign.
Like the victim. Yeah, I was gonna say the victim blaming here, the gaslighting.
Like, totally unacceptable. Disney,
yes, yeah, totally unacceptable. All around.
Yep.
All around, in every way. It really pissed Alec off. He's like, "Fuck them."
I don't blame him.
Fuck Disney. I say, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm just not that surprised.
Oh, I'm not either. Disney's known for doing this kind of shit. This isn't the first, nor will it be the last time they do this to someone.
No, and with streaming platforms, it's a monopolization of entertainment is what has really happened. It is these streaming companies have their own collective. I'm good, thank you though. Monopolizations. It's not as tied to working with other studios, you know, working with actors because this actor has this position, works with this agency, works with this studio, works with this theater company, works with this DVD distribution, works with this, where, you know, everybody has to share a piece of the pie. Everybody has to work together. And you can't monopolize any one thing because you can't.
Yeah.
With streaming services, I mean, Disney doing its best to completely take over its own.
Yeah.
And when you have that control of not only supplying the product, making the product, manufacturing the product, and releasing the product directly to the consumer, it's maybe a bastardization of the word, but it is a monopoly of its own product. It's a monopoly of its own environment. And
see, I think because of stuff like that, we will see a change in the definition of what a monopoly is coming here soon.
Right.
Because they did not go after NBC Comcast when they combined services.
Right.
But this is on a totally different scale.
Right.
NBC, like, they barely made any of their own programming for the most part. Disney, on the other hand,
exactly.
Not only did they just acquire Fox, they own so many other things, and
have for quite some time. And ABC, ESPN,
yep,
Hulu,
yep, Disney Plus. Like this is going to be the thing that changes the laws, how they deal with Disney.
It's the question if somebody has to. Disney basically, you know, I remember when they ran roughshod over New York City and Times Square, and yeah, it's much more family friendly now, but there was a lot that them and Giuliani did to make that happen. But Disney has that history of basically making their own laws, changing the laws that are on the book to suit their own needs.
They're the reason why copyright law is as fucked as it is right now.
Yep.
Because of fucking trying to hold on to Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
In particular, Mickey Mouse, literally the House of Mouse, is the reason why copyright law is the way it is at this current time.
And the of course, that irony, as I mentioned before, that they built Disney up to what it is on public domain.
Yeah. That is a huge irony. It's like their bread and butter are stories that have been adjusted from a public domain storyline.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I'm all for people protecting their copyright and everything. You know,
yes.
You have to. If you don't protect the copyright, you lose it. That's the way it works.
And yes, and that's one thing Disney absolutely puts the hammer down on. Nobody can protect anything more than they do.
But
But the ability to rewrite laws to only benefit yourself,
yeah,
far more than anybody else.
Yeah. Disney has turned around and copyrighted everything, but at the same time, some of that is just for merchandising stuff.
Right.
And
right.
if it actually came down to it, they would lose.
Right. Like I could make a Sleeping Beauty movie if I wanted to. She
Yeah.
just can't have a pink and blue dress. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Well, and that's another thing why so if you notice, Disney, with their movies that are based on public domain, they started changing the names.
Yeah.
So originally, you've got Snow White, which is the exact same name as the original. You've got Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, etc., etc., etc. But you come to the past 30 years.
Yep.
Aladdin instead of Arabian Nights.
Right.
Frozen instead of the Snow Queen.
Right.
Tangled instead of Rapunzel.
Yep.
These are all things that they can actually copyright.
Right.
They cannot copyright the idea itself because it is from public domain. However, the way it has been interpreted and changed, that is the copyrightable.
Yes. We have a visitor. We have a special visitor.
Hi, Pee-wee.
He's just dying for me to pick him up for some reason. Say hi. Oh, okay. Did you hear Lyssa? Do you miss Lyssa?
Hi, buddy. You good boy.
Yeah.
The insufferable mooch.
Yes. But he is awfully cute.
He is. It's the eyes.
Those bug eyes.
The bug eyes.
Well, so actually, Jim, there will be announcements tomorrow for what I am filming this weekend. Actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, we will be announcing new cast members. What we're filming this weekend is going to be basically the teaser for what we will be starting our campaign for.
There you go.
So Supergirl officially begins principal photography on Saturday.
Pause.
Is it paw? I was like, it's paw. I got to paw up. I got to paw them. There we go.
Possum.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yes. Yes, it is. So there you go. That's my news for me before I head out. I'm sure Lyssa's still got a full weekend ahead of her too, huh?
I have Stormcrest tomorrow, but actually, oddly enough, like all of my TTRPG streams have been canceled this week so far.
Okay.
And so, like, I'm chomping at the bit to play, despite the fact that I played 5 games in 4 days.
Not enough. Still not enough.
To be fair, I was running them, not playing them.
To be fair.
Slightly different experience.
Yes, this is true. This is true. You have to be the responsible one. That's 100% true.
I have to be the adultier adult. What?
Right. Well, so I don't know about the good Supergirl as opposed to a type of Supergirl. Everyone has their own opinion. So we have, it looks like a Supergirl series spinoff from the Flash one, not to be confused with the Benoist one. HBO Max is looking at doing that. HBO Max is looking at doing Red Hood, Jason Todd. HBO Max is they cast a new Batgirl. And HBO Max is also doing a 3-part docu-series on DC Comics. Because of course they are. So all the latest and greatest DC news, go check out the casting, go check out the development there. It looks like they've greenlit 2 of the pilots. Of course, with everything else they already had coming out, we have the new trailer for the Batman. We have the Red Band trailer of Injustice. Yeah. Woo. Okay.
It's Injustice, though. Would you expect anything?
It's Injustice. It's Injustice. Yeah, I had to show Alec like the old trailers when the video game was first coming out, where they were trying to show you that they had made there's a story behind why we're going to have people fighting each other, and here it is. Yeah, which is cool, and that turned into a whole thing. So it wasn't just Injustice: Gods Among Us. It became, there was another video game. Which did they do 2 or 3 in the series? I only know of 2.
I only know of 2, but there might be a third one.
And there was only a part 2 for that one. The comic books and the graphic novels, and of course now you have the animated movie coming out. So check out the Red Band trailer for that. The new trailer for the Batman. And the new Batgirl. They just announced there's a new Batgirl. Yeah.
I'm not surprised by that.
And she's supposed to be like the new 52 version. Like the way back when New 52 for like that version that came out. Yeah. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
DC DC is still putting a good amount of attention into what they do well. And there are still good comic books being produced by DC, even though I still think there's too many, but that's okay. Obviously, their animated world is astounding and wonderful and like 99.9% perfect. Well, I don't know, like it when the Chihuahua starts just walking around. Yeah, so they're sticking to all of that, but yes, there's new casting, and I'm excited, and I'm excited for the docu-series. I think that's gonna be cool. I'm interested to see. Obviously, they're going to be using it as a platform to kind of promote the new stuff that's coming out. But if they can convince me that they're, you know, still rooted in what was great, but has been great for 80 years, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
No, like, and see, that's the thing. Like, you want to create something new while still staying true to your roots when it comes to comic books.
Yes. Yes, Donnie, that's very good. Batman, the Audio Adventures. That's right. Good old classic, good old-fashioned classic audio of Batman Adventures. The HBO Max has.
This reminds me, you've already seen it, but they haven't.
Uh-oh.
My Dollar Tree kind?
Oh. I did see it. I did.
The Batman Ninja movie.
It was really interesting. So obviously it's another one of those examples where they kind of slap together a plot to explain how everything becomes Ninja Batman.
Yeah.
But it's unique animation. It was a combination of types of animation styles. It is not classic Japanime by any means. It's far more
digital version of it too. That's awesome. $1 for the Blu-ray and a digital version, and
it's actually interesting. It has some like the best action figures too.
It has 2. Oh, okay. One of these is just one is Blu-ray, one is the regular DVD.
Come here.
That's awesome. So I get both versions of the disc, Blu-ray and regular DVD, along with a digital. So that's 3 copies of this.
For $1.
For $1.
You never know what you're going to find at Dollar Tree. You never know what you're going to find at the Dollar General.
I was over there looking for just a micro USB-C cables that I didn't feel bad taking with me.
Right, just in case. Come here. You want to come up and say hi again? Hi, sweeties. Daddy ignoring you.
I've had a stack of just like 1,000 different freaking movies, and like the Batman Ninja movie was on top. And I'm like, yoink.
Yoink. I'll take this. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I recommend it. It's interesting.
That's good.
Yep. All right. I think that's going to be it for me tonight.
Yes. I'm still wiped from Gen Con.
Oh, I'll bet.
I want to stream video games, but at the same time, I also just want to be like pretend I'm a dead fish on my bed.
That actually sounds like fun. Minus the smell.
Yeah. That's why the pretending part. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. We are going to head out now. We hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Hey, it works. It's working.
Live long and prosper.
Prosper or prosper. You guys let us know which one.
Love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Bye.